OUGH and 8 different ways of pronouncing it. Hi everyone, my name is Hridhaan and I welcome you with a very big heart to Let's Talk. In today's lesson, we will understand how do we pronounce OUGH in all of these words in English language. So let's get started. The first list that we have today is of the words thought, bought, ought. Please focus on the OUGH sound in each of these words. How do we pronounce OUGH sound in each of these words? The sound that's coming out of it is thought, bought, ought. The sound that is coming is aw. The shame sound, very famous on our land. Aw. Aw. I thought so. I bought vegetables. I ought to do that. The sound is aw. Next list is of the words rough, tough, enough. OUGH in each of these words is pronounced as uff. Uff. And we can write it like this. A-F. Uff. Not the AF that you're thinking. It's uff. The exam was quite tough. It has quite a rough surface. And a very famous sentence. Enough is enough. Focus on the sound, please. It is uff sound. The next list is of the word plow, bow, drought. How do we say all of these words with the same sound? And what is that sound that is turning out? Let's first understand the meaning of each of these words. What is a plow? Plow is that farming implement that people use on their farms, which has big blades that helps in better farming. That is called plow. What is bow? Bough is the main branch of a tree. That main branch is called the bough. And what is drought? A situation when there is no water. Let's make some sentences. Plough helps in better farming. Bough is the most important part of a tree. The city is caught with drought. The sound that's coming is ow sound. One more time. Ow sound. Let's say the words again. Plow, bow, drought. The next list is quite similar to this, and people get confused between these words quite a lot of times as they pronounce it. So let's do it together this time. Though, dough. Though is an exclamation. Not an exclamation, but people use to kind of contradict the sentence, the meaning that they are trying to convey. Dough is a mixture of wheat and water, because of which we kind of are able to eat bread. And the sound that comes out of it is ow sound. It is and it is oo. It becomes ow. Though, dough. He was prepared. He didn't score well, though. Dough. Do you not know how to make a dough? You would not then not know how to make bread. Dough. Please repeat after me. Though and dough. The difference between both of these sounds is it's ow, it is ow. In this sound, you have to open up your mouth a little more. It's ow, it is ow. Next is ooh sound. Let's write it here. Through. OUGH becomes oo in this word. Through. I have gone through that situation. Please don't teach me. Next word is quite interesting, and it is not as much used in English, but I thought of bringing this word for each one of you in this lesson because we should be aware of just about every interesting thing in English language. This word is not laugh, laugh, etc., etc. It is lock. Yes. OUGH is pronounced as OUGH in this sound. What is it pronounced as? I hope you're repeating after me. OUGH. Loch is actually an Irish form of lake. So if in English we say, the lake is beautiful, L-O-U-G-H would be pronounced as a loch, which is an Irish form of lake, and people would say, the loch is beautiful. The second last list is cough, trough. Notice the sound, O-U-G-H, off. Very different than all the sounds that we have discussed insofar in the lesson. It is off. OUGH is also pronounced as off in the words cough and trough. What is cough? A lot of times people pronounce it as cough. That is wrong English. It is cough. Cough. And trough. What is trough? Trough is actually, again, a farming container where people, it's an open container where people make animals eat or drink items, food items or water. So that is cough, trough. Next and the last is hiccuping. OUGH is pronounced as p here. How do we say it? Hiccuping. Hiccuping. One more time. Hiccuping. He has been hiccuping since morning. I think he's not feeling well. One more time. Hiccuping. So this was all about how to pronounce OUGH in each of these words. Let's do it one more time. Thought, bought, ought. Please keep on repeating after me. Rough, tough, enough. Plow, bow, drought. Though, dough. Through, lock. Very interesting. Cough, trough, and finally, hiccuping. This was all about pronouncing OUGH correctly. Now, leaving the space as requested by each one of you. This was all about OUGH sound. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Take care, God bless, and stay tuned for more interesting lessons on pronunciation.